everyone, welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Let me double check everything just to make sure it's all working. Alright. So let's see if we can do some more of these job quests. Greetings, Byrnjolf. You radiate the confidence of a conjurer who neglects not his study of the elements. I confess I have no lesson for you to learn this day. Instead, I would ask that you aid me in the education of another. Yes, I speak of Sylphie. After no small amount of prompting, bordering on coercion, the child has finally promised to attempt to embrace the forces of nature, but I am afraid the matter is not so easily resolved. Sylphie has never attempted to learn the basic offensive spells that you and most other conjurers mastered before first venturing into the wild. As such, she is ill-equipped to undertake the trials which furnished you and your peers with an understanding of the elements. But simply, she is no match for the tainted spirits of nature. But if a more capable conjurer were to accompany her and purify the corruption in her stead, it may yet serve to impress upon her the power of the forces at work. I bid you take her on a pilgrimage around the 12th Wood and give her the opportunity to witness these confrontations firsthand. Earth, wind, water, she must know them all. Show her the majesty and primal ferocity of nature. As it was with you, let Earth be her first lesson. Sylphie awaits you at Bent Branch Meadows. Pray forgive my presumption, but I thought it best to send her on ahead while her conviction remains strong. Once you have located the patch of corrupted soil at Bent Branch, draw forth the tainted sprite and let her witness the struggle that ensues. May the elementals aid you in this endeavor, Byrnjolf. Alright, where are you, kiddo? There you are. Oh, I wasn't sure you'd come. You are kind to help me. I've done nothing but mock you. Well, if you're ready, the corrupted soil is just there. I promise I'll be paying attention. Ah! I wasn't scared. I was just a little scared, that's all. It was as if a massive solid wrath had erupted from the ground. I've never felt anything like... never mind. We have to head to the Bannock next. Let's get this over with. There we go. This seems to be the place. I'll be watching, so do whatever it is you do. Gods! The wind blew straight through me. It felt both gentle and sharp at the same time. I can't explain it. This is something you can conjure? Let's be on our way. The last one is at Lilystone. Where am I going? Oh. It's over near where that one lady lost her fishing rod. The tainted water is here. Show me how it's done, then. The lake is so beautiful. I never noticed how clearly the sky is reflected in its surface. I never noticed. Let's head back. I'm ready to speak with the guildmaster now. At the top he has. Is that a player? Who is watching, you know? One day all this will be mine, he says. Sorry, but it belongs to the elements. Apparently. Conjurer's Guild, please. Master, I've returned. Welcome back, my avid conjurers. How fared you in your encounter with the elements? Sylphie, what did you sense as Byrnjolf cleansed the sources of corruption? It's hard to explain. It was like hearing voices crying out in joy. And I felt their happiness wash over me. The world seemed sharper, more alive. It was almost as if nature were speaking to me. But why, Brother Isumi? Why did my mother teach me to avoid this side of conjuring? What was she so afraid of? There were certain truths that hide behind the mask of our words, and there is much that your mother didn't tell you. But you needn't seek all the answers at once, Sylphie. Even now your mind founders amid a sudden inundation of awareness. The first time we connect with nature can be a wonderful but disorienting experience. I suggest you allow yourself some time to adjust to this new perspective. Yes, Guildmaster. You have my gratitude, Byrnjolf. Thanks to you, Sylphie has taken a most important step. You heard her mention voices crying out in joy, did you not? It appears the mother's gift has been passed on to the daughter. Such sensitivity is not something one can achieve through meditation and training, but a blessing that only a few fortunate chosen receive. And as you have no doubt surmised, Sylphie's mother was one such person. The misunderstanding of that blessing, however, was what led her down such a tragic path. We cannot allow Sylphie's astonishing talents to consume her in the same manner. But we mustn't get ahead of ourselves. The girl has barely awoken to her potential. And for that potential to be fully realized, your support is yet needed. I suspect she failed to mention that the promise of your involvement in her lessons was the reason for her change of heart. You underestimate the impression your quiet determination has made on young Sylphie. If modesty prevents you from acknowledging your own good deed, consider this task a part of your training. For conjurers are healers of wounds, be they physical or otherwise. Walk with her on her journey, Byrnjolf, and together explore the myriad mysteries of nature. I need to take the time to go through and sell a whole bunch of the junk I ended up collecting. Welcome, Byrnjolf. The tales of your deeds reach me even here in this cloistered heart of Stillglade Fane. Glad I am that you have come, for I would ask your assistance in a matter of some delicacy. It concerns, yes, young Sylphie once again. As ye can no doubt imagine, the recent revelations concerning her mother have sorely troubled the poor child. It appears Sylphie needed some time alone to sort through the whirlwind of emotions which now beset her. She has, in short, fled from the guild. Fortunately, a party of conjurers who were dispatched to the South Shroud to investigate another instance of corruption sent word that they have spotted our wayward Sylphie. Considering the importance of their mission, I would not seek to distract the conjurers from their task. Thus I turn to you to escort Sylphie back here to the guild. You are, I believe, one of the few people to whom she will listen. Pray travel to Basker and Struthers and speak with Wolfew. She was the conjurer who first chanced upon Sylphie, and will be able to tell you more of how the young lady fares. Byrnjolf, you have grown much since last we spoke of the mysteries of Earth. Though you are no doubt capable of defending yourself, I must nonetheless advise you against venturing out into the wilds until such time as balance has been restored. Wolfew divines the will of air. Nolinel is deep-rooted in earth, and I claim some small degree of mastery over water. False modesty aside, that we three were chosen to respond to this disturbance suggests that the situation is dire indeed.
We meet again, Byrnjolf. I assume Brother Yasumi warned you of the corruption my companions and I have been tasked with purifying here in the South Shroud. The source of this extensive blight is found to the southeast. The shrill, discordant voices of the elementals shriek their dismay in the vicinity of the withered treant. I suggest you give the area a wide berth. Considering the potential dangers, you might imagine how alarmed I was to discover young Sylphie wandering about this part of the Trollswood. It seems that her mother, a woman who healed with conjury, but remained untrained by the guild, called this region her home. Sylphie herself had her head buried in some manner of tome, but if she is as sensitive to the elemental's murmurings as I am led to believe, then the din within her mind must be driving her to distraction. Pray, speak with the child, and see that she is well. I will do so myself if our current duty were not so pressing. We will, in fact, be setting out at any moment. Byrnjolf? Ah, I should have known that Wolfew would tattle on me, and Brother Isumi sent you to take me back, didn't he? This is where my mother used to live, you know, right up until she passed on. Folk were grateful for the healing she offered. And this is the journal she used to keep. And this is the journal she used to keep. There's an entry that explains how nature becomes furious when conjurers use their art. How there are always more people wounded in battles when mortals abuse the power that is not theirs to take. My mother refused to draw on nature because she was scared of making it angry. She wouldn't lie about such things, and I want to do what she would have wanted. I'm going to stop using conjury altogether. I've never heard the voices this mad before. I bet it's because Wolfew and the others are overusing their art. We have to go and stop them. Gods, it's so loud! Can't you hear it? Nature is shrieking in rage.
You possess quite an affinity. For the elements. That was most impressive. Never has the earth so confounded me. I must apologize.
Thank you for your timely assistance. With the origin of the corruption now neutralized, we should be able to cleanse whatever traces remain. I can't believe nature actually helped us. There was nothing scary about it at all. I might still wonder if it really was safe for conjurers to borrow that power if I hadn't seen the way you wield it. Nothing could seem more natural. I think it's time I went back to the guild. There are a few things I need to collect first, so please go on ahead without me.
Alright, kiddo, be safe. I would love to have flying unlocked, but that is a long ways off. Welcome back, Byrnjolf. And you also, Sylphie.
Brother Isumi, I am sorry I ran away like that.
I understand, child. Did you find the answers you sought?
Yes, thanks to Byrnjolf. He showed me that nature was nothing to be afraid of. I think I know why my mother refused to call upon its power. She believed the act caused suffering to nature itself.
I see. So it was her very love for nature that prevented her from drawing on its strength. Tell me, Sophie, has the fog of indecision now lifted from your mind?
It has, Guildmaster. I understand now why my mother chose the path she did.
Well, glad am I to hear that, for I must ask of you one more question.
Yes, Brother Izumi?
When you first witnessed Byrnjolf cleanse a corrupted element, you mentioned hearing voices. How exactly did they sound?
Voices? Well, they sounded joyful, like a crowd letting out a sudden cheer. I really heard them, I swear.
I'm sure you did, Sylphie. This is a gift.
Conjurers may sense the power of nature and borrow from its strength,
but not all can hear its whispers.
What you described are the voices of the elementals. You may very well possess the talent to become a hearer. A hearer?
Of course. Much relies on your studies of conjuring. You have a natural aptitude, but have thus far lacked commitment. You must not neglect your training, Sophie. Putting aside such matters for a moment, I am curious to hear about the disturbance you observed in the South Shroud. I assume from the reports I have received that it was of a different magnitude to those which you have previously encountered. Am I correct? This bodes ill. The creatures known as mudpies are not native to the Trollswood. I wonder what relation this may have to the seemingly ever-increasing frequency of these disturbances. Something beyond the damage wrought by the calamity afflicts the Trollswood. I shall commune with the elementals and seek to identify this threat.
Byrnjolf, Sophie,
I may have need of you both before long. Until then, give yourselves over to the study of our art. Never shall the earth meet your footfall, and the wind guide your path. Okay, and then we should just have 2 more quests for the conjuring. Then it's off to Lanasia. Ah, Byrnjolf. Your presence here is most welcome. I have another task to which your maturing skills are well suited. Attend me closely. Expansive wounds that ooze corruption have formed throughout the forest. After examining the traces of the sizable disturbance you previously cleansed, I can only conclude that this phenomena is the work of a malign agent. It must be found swiftly, lest the corruption spread, and I would have you assist in the investigation.
Guildmaster, you must let me help.
Sylphie?
Since I got back from the South Shroud, I've spent all my time studying the forces of nature. I even sat through one of Hero Nolanel's lectures. The Trollswood is crying out in pain. My skills are still a bit lacking in some areas, but I want to do what I can for the forest.
Lacking?
Sylphie, you have yet to master a single offensive spell. Without the means to defend yourself, it would be far too dangerous to send you off into the forest alone. So I'm to stay here then?
Not necessarily.
Byrnjolf, with your consent, I would have Sylphie accompany you once more.
I do not propose this arrangement solely with her safety in mind, given the nature of the investigation. It is like that Sylphie's innate talent for hearing will prove as useful to you as your conjuring will to her. There is much you might accomplish together.
Sylphie, you are not to approach any sources of corruption without Byrnjolf at your side. Do I make myself clear?
And should you chance to encounter the origin of these disturbances, do not initiate a confrontation. Too often you allow your curiosity to overwhelm your good sense. Now go and may the elementals watch over you.
Yes, Guildmaster. Something tells me we should start at Quarry Mill in the South Shroud. Meet me there as soon as you can, Byrnjolf, and hurry, the corruption is spreading.
Something I want to do first. There we go. I just want to make sure I have plenty of dashful greens. I wonder how much they stack to.
There's the tainted soil. Please do what you can. That was brilliant, Byrnjolf. But it was only the start. The forest still groans in pain. I can hear it. I think it's coming from the north? No, the northeast. Let's go and have a look.
Oh no, I failed the fate. kid. You need to be careful here. I don't know.
You're doing really well, Byrnjolf. But I think there's another one. And, well, it calls to me even more fervently than the last. It's to the east, I think. Yes, to the east. Nice work. The earth here feels healed. And yet, there's another disturbance, and it's big. Really big. It's hard to describe, but it feels sort of wronger. I think it might be what's causing all of this. I know Brother Isumi said we weren't to confront it, but we can't just let it corrupt the rest of the forest. And however powerful it is, it can't be any more powerful than you. You're amazing. What I mean to say is, I'm willing to risk a scolding if you are. It's not far from here. Somewhere to the southeast, I think. Shall we at least have a closer look? I don't think you need to be able to hear the voices of the forest to notice that. Do you, Byrnjolf? The corruption is definitely coming from somewhere around here. That's odd. As soon as we arrived, that sense of wrongness I had suddenly felt less... Well, it just felt less. It's almost as if it's holding its breath, or hiding. Do you see that? Just in that one spot there. The air seems wrong. Scent.
That was a funny looking death right there.
Isn't it amazing, Byrnjolf? Did the breeze always feel this good? Was the ground always this warm? I'm so glad I finally understand. I just wish I could tell my mother how incredible nature feels. Oh, you're injured. Here. Don't worry. Healing doesn't drain me anymore. Not since I learned how to borrow from nature. And I have you to thank for that, Byrnjolf. Let's return to the guild. We have to explain everything to Brother Isumi.
Was I doing a little knot there? Or was that just a camera? I'll have to look back over the recording to see. Oh, how I wish I could fly. That person is sporting Green's outfit.
Welcome back, Byrnjolf, Sylphie. Our mission was a success, Guildmaster. Quite. I take it the two of you conspired to defy my orders. Well, the forest was suffering. We couldn't just walk away. It's not Byrnjolf's fault, it's mine. It was all my idea. I take full responsibility. Calm yourself, child. You did nothing I did not foresee. I am of no mind to lecture you. Indeed, Gridania is indebted to you for your heroic deeds. The corruption born of Aquaman had taken root in the calamity-weakened soil. There is no telling how much further it might have spread if you had not defeated the creature. And if I am not mistaken, Sylphie, you succeeded in drawing upon the energies of nature during the battle. How did you... Yes, I did. I'm not really sure how it happened. I remember thinking how badly I wanted to help Byrnjolf, and then I suddenly felt the power surging through me. That is as it should be. One does not simply choose to borrow from nature's strength. The mind may command only that which the heart permits. In your desperation to help your friend, you opened your heart to nature, and nature responded to your need. But we must not forget your part in this, Byrnjolf. It is clear to me that your journey with Sylphie has brought you still closer to the pinnacle of our art. I believe you are ready for the last of my teachings. Thus it is with great pleasure that I pass on another of our guild's magics. A more potent form of the cure spell is now yours to command. Have no doubt that it will serve you well in your continuing endeavors. Wheresoever you go, nature will go with you, my friend. Ever shall the earth meet your footfall, and the wind guide your path. Byrnjolf, I am glad you have come. I didn't even leave. I have a task of a most urgent and confidential nature, and I can think of none other to whom I can entrust it. You are doubtless familiar with the Seed Seers, yes? Connie Senna, Elder Seed Seer, leader of the Order of the Twin Adder, and guardian of our fair nation, clearly needs no introduction, but know you also of her siblings? The two young Podgels, Sister Reo Senna and brother Arun Senna, make for Everskade as we speak, where they will perform a ritual of great import. Verily, such import that it would be no overstatement to say that the very fate of Gridania hangs in the balance. As you well know, we dwell in the forest by the good graces of the elementals, eternal guardians of the 12th wood. Most of all, the great one who dwells within the guardian tree. Yet our ceaseless warring and ill treatment of the trees that shelter us have aroused the Great One's ire, and it is only by the quieting ritual of which I spoke that he may be placated. Thus did the two Seed Seers set out for Everskade, with nary a guard to accompany them. Therein lies the rub and the nature of the favor I ask of you. By no means would I question the powers of the Seed Seers, but with the Great One's anger mounting, the 12th wood becomes a threatening domain for even the most puissant of conjurers. Pray hasten to Everskade and see that no harm befalls them too. But first... Unicorn. Your deeds of late have earned you the respect of all the Stillglade Fane. People say you are a breath of fresh air within these still caverns. Truly, you are an inspiration to us all. Having plied you with praise, I would make a request of you. An unusual creature has appeared near Falgord Float in the North Shroud. Witnesses report that it is badly wounded. While it hasn't proven itself a danger to the locals, a wounded beast is unpredictable at the best of times. Please find it and provide it with such succor as you are able. Go ahead and start at the North Shroud. Says, guys, turn to rain. Is it down by those big golems? Yeah, there it is. Leave me alone. Please. Please leave me alone. Let's go and get my... The creature seems grateful. I sure hope it is. I'll return back to Guildhall, and then I'll seek out Rhea. Because I think when I complete the Seer Folly quest, it's going to end up having me go over to what's the place called? It's not Quarry Mill, it's the place, it's the other place we need, right? I just can't remember what it's called. Camp Tranquil, probably? Yeah, Camp Tranquil. Something smells really good. Welcome back, Byrnjolf. Were you able to find the creature? And what did it look like, if I might ask? Four-legged and tall, with a pristine white coat, and a single horn protruding from its brow? There is no mistake. That was a unicorn you healed. Unicorns are rare and majestic beasts native to the inner region of Korthus. They are extremely shy and are wont to avoid all contact with man. The notion that you were able to gain its trust is most thrilling. I've seen enough wild creatures to know that its behavior toward you means more than simple gratitude. Nay, the unicorn must have sensed kinship in you. Should you doubt my words, Byrnjolf, pray take this whistle and prepare yourself. A truly uplifting experience awaits. How do you just have a whistle ready to summon a unicorn? How did I not do any of these? Of course, I have the Succubus card, the Sahagin card. Still have that Fantasia potion in my inventory. I should probably put it away somewhere before I have an accident with it. I'll probably end up turning into a cat girl again. Alright. That one does seem more closer. It'd be cool to find flowers that glow at night. With many beautiful colors. And I think the only way we can actually do that is just make fake flowers that light up. There they are. I remember the first time I tried this with Laura. I remember failing it. Curses! How could we hope to make it to the Guardian Tree with these ghastly creatures bursting forth with rampant weeds? Oh, like rampant weeds. If I'd known what we were in for, I'd have brought along a wood whaler or two. In fact, I dare say we should return and do exactly that. Oh, do not be such a coward, sister. We are seed seers. These overgrown vermin are no match for us. Bold words, brother. But were they true words? We would have dispatched our enemies and arrived safely at our destination bells ago. Sorry, I had a cough there. A conjurer, are you? Brother Isumi, ever the warrior. For once, however, his solicitude is most welcome. Might you help us dispose of these foul creatures? Have you no pride, sister? A seed seer does not beg the aid of some common adventurer. Enough, brother. We have a duty to perform. A duty that takes precedence over your silly notions of pride. Now enough talk. Let us see to these pests.
Man, I did so much better there than the first time I ever done this. I like the color.
That crystal! Did my eyes deceive me? Or does this adventurer inherit the legacy of Ottawa Kant? It was none other than Ottawa himself who last performed the quieting. No, I do not believe this adventurer's arrival is mere coincidence. Bearer of the soul crystal, inheritor of arcane knowledge long since forbidden to those not of our kind. I know not why it is you he chose, but I believe our great forefather has led you to us today. Ancient tradition dictates that the quieting be performed by 3 padrils. But I misspeak. The ritual is to be performed by 3 white mages. If Master Ottawa truly has chosen this adventurer as his successor. You speak madness, sister. Surely you have not forgotten that Pajali tradition strictly forbids sharing the teachings with those not of our kind. The power of the white magic is far too great to risk it falling into the wrong hands. And so you would uphold tradition merely for tradition's sake? Even at the risk of incurring the Great One's wrath and bringing disaster upon our forest home? Have you so little faith in your own ability, sister? We are seed seers, more than capable of slaying any beasts in our way and carrying out the ritual on our own. This petty bickering is getting us nowhere. Adventurer, I am sorry to trouble you with our silly sibling squabbles. If you've the time, I would speak with you further, but not here. Come to Camp Tranquil, and come quickly. Time is of the essence.
I, like, climb my way up here? There we go. Haha! Shortcut! Need to remember to finish up my hunting logs here at some point. That's a cool looking bird there. Thank you for coming, adventurer. Forgive my brother's rudeness. He cannot help that he was born with a head of solid stone. Anyways, I do not believe we have been properly introduced. I am Rhea Osena, a Padril, as you can see, and sister of the elder Seedseer. You are Byrnjolf, yes? Brother Isumi has spoken of you, and most highly at that. As you no doubt have heard, my brother, Arun, and I were en route to the Guardian Tree. There the Great One, by whose graces we dwell here, resides. Let me reread that. There the Great One, by whose graces we dwell here, resides. The gentlest of guardians when at peace, a destructive force that knows no bounds when angered. Aye. Thanks for landing. As the Great One goes, so goes our fate. The creatures you helped us dispatch, doubtless they too were roused to hostility by the Great One in his anger. You need only look around you to see the forest grows more and more threatening with each passing hour, so it is that we traveled here to quell the Great One's fury, to perform the quieting. In days of old, the ritual was, without fail, performed by 3 white mages. With our elder sister occupied with her many duties, my brother and I thought to attempt it on our own. Arun was quite confident, but I had my doubts. It was then that you arrived, and shortly thereafter became one of the chosen few to be gifted with a white mage's soul crystal. It is no small honor that gem marks you as the inheritor of the magic of our ancestors. My brother's pride may blind him, but the signs are clear as day to me. You are not Padrili, but a Tawa Kant meant for you to be here today, to perform the ritual with us. Tawa Kant is known to all as one of the greatest mages in our history, but even more so, he was known for being something of an eccentric. In defiance of tradition, he bid farewell to his forest home, wandering the realm and healing the wounds of the land and its people wheresoever he went. A most admirable cause, yes, but alas, Atawa was never to return. He perished in a far-off land, and having taken no apprentices, his legendary powers were lost to us for eternity. Or so I believed, until I met you. And yet, for all his stubbornness, there is some truth to my brother's words. Ancient laws forbid us from sharing the teachings of white magic outside of our own kind. There are reasons for this, which I would share with you when the time is right. There are many who would not approve of this arrangement. Still, I am convinced that it is Atawa's will that we bring you into the fold. So I welcome you, Byrnjolf of the White. I can feel the Great One's fury welling up even now. Time is short, and yet, while you may have been chosen by Atawa, I fear your journey as a white mage has just begun. Return to me when you have further honed your skills, and we shall proceed with your training. Yay! The presence of mind. Alright. Next up, okay, next up is going to be the rogue. So let's head to Lanasia. I'll finish with Marauder, because that's the class I want to play as for the rest of ARR. Actually, I'm going to a fire city, so you go. So I should be like, for the rest of ARR. ARR. I went the wrong way. Been practicing your dance steps, Byrnjolf, because we're about ready to run rings around Captain Milella and her squads. The Yellow Jackets have been pressing their investigations into the treasures what was cloyed from that maelstrom tub. But as you know, we've got our own network of coves. What don't miss not are the goings on about town. As for the sharp end of the job, it'll be you, me, Underfoot, and the Stray. Let's get down to business, eh? The cab's late to the feast, so I'll just make sure we're all on the same page for the now. When ye get down to it, we have 2 goals for this job. Fight back them 3 treasures and mill the coves that what cloyed them in the first place. You can be sure that the Yellow Jacket will be doing her damnedest to beat us to the marks. And seeing as the fate of the guild is at stake, we'd best not drag our do-beaters on this one. I say we grabble them baubles afore she's even lifted an anchor and give her a proper reason to rage against us rogues. You seem awful keen on this contest all of a sudden, Jack. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I sent me a grievance to the Thalassocracy regarding the Shrew's challenge, but them paper shufflers don't care a whit as long as one of us gets the job done. So I figured I'd sail with the wind, rather than against it. Besides, we wouldn't want to shirk our duties and force poor Captain Milala to blunder about in the scary Darkmans now, would we? How very gentlemanly of ye. Well, them's the cards, what we've been dealt, ain't they? Now, stow your quips, and let's hear what ye've learned about them bloody treasures already. Aye, the treasures, according to the manifest of the Maelstrom vessel, we're looking to bite back the cerulean star, the silver sorrows, and something called the black sarcophagus. Aside from the fancy names, I was able to whittle a few more details. The cerulean star, for starters, is a big old blue diamond that shines like a star, I suppose. Then we've got the silver sorrows, a pair of earrings that once graced the wattles of the Sultana of Ulda. There's a tale there, but one what don't concern us at present. Lastly, this black sarcophagus thing. I'm afraid that one remained a mystery no matter how much I poked and prodded. In any case, all three of these trinkets was recorded as spoils from official privateering raids. Now, as ye know, a pirate'll usually sell his plunder through a reliable fence. Sometimes, though, holding an auction is the only way to offload goods, what is too extravagant, or just too bleeding rare for the average colt to deal in. Our three wondrous treasures fell into the auction-only category when the bidding began in Aleport. Thalassocracy, weighed in with its ample purse, made some unmatchable offers, then organized a tub for the merchandise to be shipped back to Limsa. And that's when our marks swooped in and picked their transport clean. I had a few wids with them Maelstrom sailors. I survived the attack, and they pointed the finger at the grinning curs. Problem is, not one coal's seen hide nor hair of the curs, not to mention their bloody ship since the raid.
Sorry I'm late, Jack, but you'll want to hear this. Some of the cargo what was cloyed from the transport was just found during a routine inspection of the Lothagran checkpoint.
Lothagran? Have the curs made landfall then? And what of the treasures? Any mention of them?
Not that I've heard, but the jackets ain't done shaking out all the boxes yet.
Then we'd better get eyes out there. Quick like, Byrnjolf. And if you're fresh for a run, ain't ye? Come on, Colt. I'll race ye out to the checkpoint. You've never heard of the Grinton Curs? They're a pack of rabid buccaneers, but used to belong to the Salthounds. Back in the day, the Salthounds had the crew to fill more than a few ships. There was no other pirate gang that can match 'em when it came to sheer numbers. But when the Admiral came to power and passed her famous law, most of the hounds chose a life on land. And those what spat on the law became the curs. Simple as that. Thank you for the lore, Vicap. I won our race. You owe me a pint, Byrnjolf. Japes aside, though, it looks like the cab was right about the cargo. From what I've been able to catch from them swads at the gate, it seems a peddler was boned for carrying goods, what was known to be aboard the transport. They carted the poor sod away in chains, but the cargo itself is still here. I saw a pair of jackets carrying boxes up to the wooden ramp. We need to know what's in them crates. I get the feeling they won't open their cans for the asking. Though, not while this fool's challenge is going on. Do you think he could skulk over there and see if they found them treasures yet? Sure. Two yellow jacket soldiers are inspecting the seized cargo. This is all junk. No diamond, no earrings, and no bloody black sarcophagus. Looks like we'll have to lean hard on that skinny peddler if we're to find them treasures. The sergeant says the merchant's still pleading ignorance. Claims he was hired to carry the goods through the checkpoint and not else. What a pile of shite. I'm guessing the pirates have split the cargo and are trying their luck at every checkpoint. Captain Milala's already given orders to double the guard and inspect every cart and wagon when it comes through. Curious about what's in the boxes, are you? Well, why don't you go be curious from way over there and let us do our jobs? Chatting with them while I'm still cloaked. We can't be having any unauthorized persons interfering with our official investigations. Move along now. So they found not a value, eh? Bean, though, thought we'd lost the contest afore we'd even properly started. But be that as it may, something don't add up here. Why would ye order a coal to carry the goods through the checkpoint? No smuggler is that daft, surely. And even if by some miracle of the gods ye squirmed through Lothagren without raising a fuss, why would ye risk taking merchandise back to the city what ye cloyed it from? No, there's a bigger picture here, and we'd need to take a step back to see it. Assuming the curs hired this peddler to do their dirty work, there'll be someone in the shadows as brokered the deal. And I just happen to know a cove what makes it his business to oversee these kinds of shady arrangements. The thing is, the black marketeer bloke changes his... The black marketeer bloke changes his haunts depending on how the breeze blows. Quite literally, in fact. I seem to recall the Navigator's Veil being shifted by a westerly this morning. So that put him... at Tiller's Arrest. Nice and close. Why don't we go ask him a few questions before we head back to the guild? Is that supposed to be a volcano over there? I pride myself on my memory for faces, but yours is unknown to me. Are you an earnest customer or an inquisitive annoyance? I must be sure of your intentions. Gah! The dance is old, but the name is new. Put away your daggers, rogue. I've peddled my wares to your kind since the upright thief stalked the night. Speak, what would you have of this humble merchant? Still tormenting the colts, eh, Grandad? We've come for information on a smuggling job. There was this peddler what was caught at the Lothagran checkpoint moving merchandise for the Grinning Curs. Pleaded innocence even when he had the screws put to him. You wouldn't know aught about that deal, would ye? Every last sordid detail. Not a single grain of stolen sand passes through the shadows without my knowledge. But such prickly wisdom lodges tightly in one's throat. What have you brought to ease the pain of its passage? Spare me the theatrics, Grandad. Here's your usual purse. The sum is paid. The deal is made. May my answer sate your fickle hunger. Your hapless peddler was indeed innocent. He was but a beast of burden employed by associates of the Grinning Curs, and likely knew naught of his freight's tainted nature. Upon, if you will, a convenient decoy, there are those amongst my acquaintances who specialize in providing such services. That's what I thought. The Curs wanted that coal to get caught, and now the jackets have had a taste. To waste their time yoffling every shite by what comes through their checkpoints. Meanwhile, the real treasures are hidden away in the Darkmans, along with the Grinning Curs. Not the Darkmans, Master Rogue. The Mist. Aside from the traveling merchant, the Curs associates have spent coin on another piece with this little game. A navigator. One who is practiced in piloting a vessel through the Doxy's pull. The Doxy's... The gods only know how many ships have sailed into that fog soup and never come out again. And that's where these say the Curs have gone to ground? Now there's a trick that took some bollocks. Once their hunted tub was sitting dimmer in the midst, though, it would have been easy to have these associates of theirs ferry the junk goods to Lanasia. Then the canny coves just needed to wait for the peddler to get boned and draw the gazes of the yellowjackets inland. We need to strike now as soon as they learn the coast is clear. They'll flee for open waters. A fair appraisal of events. Now that you know the location of your marks, however, it will not be so difficult to track them down. Doxy's pole was once an impenetrable shroud, but ever since the calamity, the mists are far less constant. Narrow your search to the heaviest banks, and you will soon uncover those who wish to remain unseen. But now a warning. The mists conceal other dangers besides the dogs you seek. Careless step may land you upon the chopping block. The chopping block? Can't mean... Seems I found myself another lead to look into. You hurry on back to Jack and tell him what we've learned so far. I hope we might do business again, young rogue. Pray be mindful not to lose your head in the course of your duty. Yeah. Just think what I have for mounts. Someone goof around with our Marauder class. About time, lad. He was gone so long, I almost sent her to stray after me. What happened to Underfoot? So our marks and their biting baubles are snug inside the Doxy's pole, eh? I'll not discount the old man's warning, but we may not have a Benar chance to crash the curs and grab up some treasures. We board the ship right now, you, me, and Viken. Suppose we'll be needing ourselves a tub for the voyage. I'll have Wids with Swansund and see what the dry docks can spare us by way of a ship and a reliable crew. Get your kit together and meet us there. Alright, Byrnjolf. I've pulled in some favors, and there's a crew that'll get us close enough to scamper aboard the Kerr's vessel. It'll be cramped up on that deck. If we try to mill the whole lot at once, we'll soon find ourselves up against the rails. So we go in quick and quiet and try to knock them off a few at a time. Well, Colt, are you eager to test your sea legs? That is a really well-dressed man right there. Get rid of the healer.
Jack, I found me one of them treasures. Unless there's another fist-sized blue diamond on board, it's got to be the Cerulean Star. As for them other two baubles, I've tossed the cabins and been through the hold, ilm by ilm. But there's naught else here.
Well, we'll just have to ask all sweet-like, won't we? Spit it out, Kerr. Where are ye keeping the rest of your treasures? Ha! You think I'd spill me guts for the likes of you, rogue? Maybe you wouldn't, at that. But what about this partner you're working with? We don't need a partner. So you're telling me this was all your own idea? You woke up one day and decided you'd attack a maelstrom transport right off the coast of Aleport, then disappear into the loving embrace of the Doxy's pole? Not exactly your style, is it? The Grin Kerrs are too bleedin' famous for being the crew that turned their snouts up at privateering in favor of keeping to the old ways. You've only escaped the Yellowjacket's grip this long by crawling on your bellies and scratching and snatching scraps what fell from the table. You ain't the type to sink your teeth into a Navy-owned vessel, no matter the prize. Aye, well, maybe there ain't no profit in being cautious no more. The age of pirates is swift coming to an end, and it won't be stopped. Not by a piddling little crew like mine. That's why we've thrown our lot in with the executioners. That blue rock was just our share of the loot. The scraps from the table, like ye said. If you want them other trinkets, then you'll have to take it up with our new mates. One job at a time, lad. First we need to get these stinking coves and their tub back to the docks. Piss on you for taking our ship. Should have set her on fire while I still had the chance.
The job just got proper thorny, but at least we've gravelled one of them damn treasures.
Putting aside the issue of who gave the orders, there's no doubt that these was the coves as raided the Maelstrom ship. Now for a punishment, what fits the crime?
I was informed that a certain well-known pirate ship was spotted weighing anchor at the Morby dry docks. I assume that was your work.
Aye, you missed all the excitement, Captain. But never you mind, this William Starr is back and Bob in our sneaky little fambles.
And these must be the grinning curs. Degenerate fiends! How dare you ply your filthy trade in lands and waters? How many innocent sailors were massacred that you might sate your vile avarice? Every one of your kind ought to be lined up and shot. A musket ball is the only answer for this rampant display of lawlessness.
Wait. Do you mean to just execute 'em here on the bloody docks? At least take the buggers into custody first.
Hand them over to me. Hand them over to ye for...
Oh, this is Jack speaking. Handing them over to ye for lawful punishment will satisfy the demands of the code just as well. We've already got the answers to our questions, so feel free to take them in.
Do not presume to give me orders, rogue. You only managed to capture these villains and their ill-gotten treasure by employing unsavory and unconscionable means. Well, you're not more than pirates yourselves.
These bastards ain't worth a true pirate's spit. The upright thieves was formed to protect us from ourselves. Now they're just hunting dogs for the Admiral. Marilla yanks the leash, and another buccaneer disappears. You rogues are traitors to your own kind. If it hadn't been for you. Aye, go on then. Blame me and me coves for your own failures. You knew what you was about when you defied the code. You knew that we'd be after ye. We're done here.
There are still 2 treasures left, rogue, and I mean to claim them both.
I'd reconsider this contest of yours, Captain. Turns out the fish we're trying to hook is a shark. And it might just swallow ye whole.
What shark is he speaking of? And how could any pirate challenge the might of the Yellowjackets? No, he seeks to unnerve me. I'll wring the truth from these grinning curs, and we'll see who triumphs over him.
You think this is over? The pirates will have their day again. should go find the Sea of Thieves. At least there you can be pirates. Oh, what do we have over here? Not now. Oh, that's a cool looking umbrella. Parasol. Whatever that's supposed to be. Be in work on that ship, Byrnjolf. First blood is ours. How do you take to fighting at sea? There are few as can drop an opponent as quick as a rogue. But mind you, don't exhaust yourself. Just flailing your blades at the tougher coves. And that goes double for when you've mates on your flanks. If you notice yourself starting to flag, there's not wrong with pulling back from time to time and staggering your attacks with each other to keep the pressure on. I've said it afore, Colt, but I'll need you sharp enough to carve steel for what's to come. I'm afraid this will be more of a challenge than even what that little shrew was bargaining for. Not assuming the curs wasn't lying about the executioners. And the executioners are who I bloody think they are. Twixt you and me, though, I'm hoping the name is just some laughable coincidence. Oh there, Byrnjolf. We have a rough job ahead of us, and that's a fact. Matters are tangled enough, what with that Malala. Matters are tangled enough, what with that Malala Mort snapping at our heels. but we still managed to grapple the first trinket without too much fuss. Biting back them other two treasures, though, that'll be a different story. Once the Shrey gets here, I'll explain what, or more to the point, who we're up against. Alright. We have 2 bottles left on the list. The Silver Sorrows and the Black Sarcophagus. Let's see where we're at. Oi, where's Paramu got to? Wonderfoot? He's still looking to whittle the tail behind that bleeding sarcophagus. We'll not be cloying that stickler until we've at least an inkling as to what the bloody thing looks like. Treasures aside, I've been doing some digging, me own, into these executioner allies of the Grinning Curs, and I'm afraid the name weren't no coincidence. Byrnjolf, you've heard of the bloody executioners, I hope? Yeah, I did a tap dance with them. Or tap dance? Excuse me, step dance. It seems them Curs was feeding from the famble of one of the nation's greatest pirate powers. This ain't no ordinary crew of cutthroats, but within Limza Limenza, the bloody executioners wield a power and influence second only to the Admiral herself. They was none too fond of Merlib, or her prohibition on piracy, and it was only the overwhelming threat posed by the Garlean Empire what eventually convinced them to play nice with the thalassocracy. But pirates ain't ones to play nice for long. Now that Hilfer ain't around to helm the ship, the solidarity of the bloody executioners has begun to show cracks. All the strongest captains and lieutenants begun to form their own factions and are scrambling to claim the top chair for themselves. Of course, not one bloody cove can agree with another on which way the executioners ought to sail. Among these new factions, though, is a group what is pushing to break free of the Admiral's grip completely. Turns out these reformists, as they call themselves, was the ones as took the Grinning Curs under their wing. Which means they've got possession of the last 2 treasure we've yet to cloy. Rumors round town say that even the executioners, those coves are bloody and ruthless, and not to be crossed. We should sit this one out, Jack. Piss on Milala's contest. It ain't worth this kind of grief. It'd be inviting the wrath of a crew so large and dangerous that even the Admiral ain't keen on coming to blows with them. If they ever came after us. Large or small, it don't much matter. They broke the code when they hit that maelstrom tub. Aye, the Grinning Curs are paying for that crime, but we'd be poor sodden excuses for rogues if we let the real culprits carry on unpunished. I mean to see this job to the end, and that means biting back them treasures and handing out proper justice to them that as deserve it. But Jack, listen, with all the infighting going on at present, us stabbing a short blade into one faction's toe ain't like to bring the whole executioner crew down on our heads. Besides, them reformist buggers are so far split from the main mob that they've been avoiding the city altogether. Now, it's about time we got to work, Byrnjolf. You're to track down our black market contact. I set him to looking into the Curs' new allies a while back, so he should have some answers for us by now. The veil was lifted by a southerly this morn. I'll put the old man at his haunt in Lower Lanasia. Here, take the sack of blunt and pay a visit to the House of Sticks. That's kobold territory, if ye didn't know. The old man bribes them with ore and hires the biggest and meanest sods as bodyguards. Just be ready for your approach to be challenged.
I know full sodden well what it means to be a rogue, but as deadly as our guild is, we not survive a war with the bloody executioners. Welcome to the House of Sticks, young rogue. You must excuse my hireling's enthusiasm for greeting visitors. Now, have you any cumbersome baggage of which I might relieve you before we begin our conversation in earnest? Yeah! A heavy burden for one of your tender years to bear, but its weight has balanced the scales. The sum is paid and the deal is made. Let us speak of those reformists. Oi! Bagger off. Don't listen in on us. This faction that so wronged the code now seeks to peddle one of its stolen treasures, the earrings better known as the Silver Sorrows. The deal, it is said, is set to take place at Costa del Sol. The buyer, a moneyed merchant from the golden sands of Ul'dah. The earrings will be out in the open, vulnerable. I would target the moment of transaction were I so inclined. As the gentleman up there by the cabin appears to be, for he purchased the self-same information. Though he attempts to disguise his identity, the stench of a soldier yet lingers. I know not where one such as he came to learn of my existence, but I suspect he works for a certain yellow-coated captain. Brave she is, but foolish. Stumble blindly into the underworld, and your groping hands will not save you from the holes at your feet. Sudden shall be her fall. The reformists will soon divest themselves of the Silver Sorrows. I would not dally if you wish to stay ahead of your rivals.
Welcome back, Byrnjolf. What information did the old man have on them reformists? Looking to unload them earrings, are they? And to an old Don, no less. Can't say as I'm surprised to hear the buyers from out of town. You won't find many Lemenzens willing to melt coin on aught them coves are selling. Only the daftest of sods would go about funding them as means to pull down the admiral. Eh? One of Milala's lackeys arrived at the house afore ye? How did they know to... Bah, them curs we've captured must have cackled during the shrew's interrogations. We'll have to assume the Yellow Jackets know what we know. And that means we'd best get our arses to Costa del Sol right bleeding now.
I'll handle this one, Jack. You and Byrnjolf can wait here for Perevu.
Oi, Fikeb! What the hell is she playing at? After her, lad. She knows this ain't a solo job.
Can I get to Costa del Sol via this, ferry here? Yes, I can. There's a lot of people here. I told you to wait at the guild. I don't need... Well, it might be as I could use an extra cove in the shadows after all. Jack has his mind set on punishing the executioners, but me? I just wanted to skulk in, ploy them silver bits, and skulk out. I reckon that if I could manage that with no one the wiser, then they wouldn't know who to come after. Finish the job without drawing me daggers, you know? It ain't exactly true to the code, but the shield of underworld honor won't stop them bloody killers from cutting me mates' throats and setting the sisters a glimmer. The guild's the only place would offer to take in a pirate stray like me, and I'll not see it burned to the ground. The deal's about to start. Say the word when you're bean to head in. Alright. Here's what we know. The rich merchant, what's come over from Ul'dah, is some old mates, a Master Gegurujo. The Colas owns the Costa del Sol. Geguruju's taken his guards and dancing dells and pranced off down the beach someplace, giving over the use of the entire resort to his friend. Seems she didn't want an audience for our bargain with the reformists. Which, as it happens, works out well for us. We'll wait until they're busy haggling over price, then snatch the sorrows and hop the twig afore they realize aught's amiss. Sounds like a plan. There, the players have arrived. The reformists, coin counter, and Ul'dah buyer are setting up on the southeast platform. The earrings ought to be nearby. Hang about. Who are all these other calls? The place was meant to be empty. I see some nasty-looking blokes in Ul'dah garb. And are those mammoths? Ugh, that merchant's brought along a whole bloody entourage. I've gone and got ahead of myself. I should have realized the job'd never be that easy.
We'll have to mill a few of them. We'll have to mill a few of them bodyguards first, I reckon. You don't want to fight through a forest of blades should you get caught sneaking about up on them narrow walkways.
Jack, I thought I'd...
Stow your excuses, love. I know full well what you were about. You start going soft on us, though, and it'll be like losing one of me arms. Can't take on the bloody executioners all by myself. It's only 'cause I've got rogues like you and Underfoot and Byrnjolf here that the guild can take their jobs it does. When our coves walk the shadows, it's the bleeding pirates what do the trembling. Remember that, Vikeb. We ain't some two gill robbers, but piss their britches when their daddles are caught in the honey pot. We're the knives in the dark bins, and no bastard wants to go blade to blade with the likes of us.
I see. You've not changed your mind, then. You'll need all the stabbers you can get, and I promise mine'll be there when you need 'em.
Bean, now let's carve a path to that platform and bite back them earrings. Vikeb, you hide yourself down by the docks in case the marks escape during the fight. Byrnjolf, you and me'll split up and mill the guards as we go. It's them puppets as concern me most. I suggest you crash them little buggers before they can spring any rum fun. Creep in as close as you dare, and give 'em a good solid clout from behind. It ain't the most original strategy, but that don't make it any less lethal. Once you're done with the first group, slip back into the shadows and move on to the next. Not to it, eh? I'll head over to the back while you start in from the front. Let's wrap this up before them jackets blunder in and scare off our marks. I wonder if I'm able to see Vikeb hiding anywhere. I don't see her in the water anywhere. Or by the boat. Trouble, Captain. Rogues? No one mentioned aught about rogues. What in the hells do you think you're doing? I am conducting a business transaction on behalf of the bloody executioners. Do you understand what that means? Do you know what they'll do to you? I'm all frightened. Odd, then, that you're the one who's shaken. It don't much matter to me who you work for. Your bosses broke the code, and we're here to collect. Those be the Silver Sorrows, then. I'm sure ye paid a caravan a coin for them shiny baubles, but I doubt they're worth your life. Let's have 'em, then. Wait, damn you! You should know that this personage is an extremely influential member of the East Aldernod Trading Company. Surely you've heard of it. The threat of reprisal will not stay your hand. Then consider the political ramifications of interfering with a foreign dignitary. The Admiral would not desire you to damage Limsa's relations with Ul'dah. Yes, exactly. I am very highly placed in Ul'dan society. I've powerful friends who would not be pleased were you to mistreat me in any fashion. And you must understand, the Silver Sorrows are a historical treasure, a gift once bestowed upon Sultana Nanasha Ulnasha by her champion. The earrings were later stolen from the royal vault, and we'd lost hope of ever recovering them. That I might so easily purchase them thus is a miracle. The return of these trinkets will be, that is to say, the Sorrows, must be returned to Ul'dah. Can ye not look the other way for the sake of my nation's pride? You must think me some dull-witted thug. If this deal was being made on behalf of your country, then why are you sneaking about and consorting with pirates? An excellent point. One might doubt your quality of character were you to continue with these feeble fabrications. You need only entrust those earrings to me. Should you truly wish to see them return to Ul'dah, that is. After all, 'twas to fulfill that very purpose that the Thalassocracy bid on the Sorrows in the first place. Bit late there, aren't you, Captain? I think you'll agree this round belongs to us. On the contrary, my dear scoundrel, I made the winning move the moment I knew we were dealing with a merchant of Ul'dah. I come bearing an official order of seizure authorized by the Admiral herself. You will not be harmed, but I must insist that you cooperate with this reclamation of unlawfully obtained goods. Though Costa del Sol is private property, it nevertheless lies within state-governed territory. Come along quietly, and we need not inconvenience Master Gregoruju any further. These suspects will be taken into Yellowjacket custody, and do not concern yourself with the Silver Sorrows. They'll be quite safe with me. I heard the news from Jack. I don't think that was the Admiral choosing to side with Malala, though. Probably just eager to reclaim the Silver Sorrows. Anyway, that bit about them earrings being coined from the royal vault turns out to be true. Seems some famous burglar went after them once he heard about the godlike agility they was said to bestow upon the wearer. Bah, the hells take that canary-colored harpy. We might as well have handed things to her on a velvet cushion. I'll go find Underfoot and help him with his digging. There's still the last treasure out there, and ye can be sure the reformists won't be giving it up without a fight. Ah, you do that. Being luck to ye, love.
Ah, there you are. You left before events had truly been decided, and I thought you deserved to know the score. Dual Dawn Merchant has acquiesced to our request and surrendered the Silver Sorrows into our keeping. We've also apprehended the reformist's accountant and will be holding him for further questioning.
Oh, Bonin and Associated, the bloody executioners. Yeah, you Yellowjackets don't flinch from your duty, I'll give you that. And what's this I hear about you buying information, Captain?
I thought you'd sooner die than associate with elements of the underworld. I will do what I must to stay ahead in this challenge, and that Marketeer's knowledge was vital to the case. 'Tis true I might find his practices distasteful, but he is no pirate. It is the fading era of piracy which I mean to consign to the history books, and that chapter will never be fully closed until every pirate-spawned relic, including you and your guild, becomes a thing of the past. Valiant and forthright, these are the words by which the Yellowjackets live. It is the manner in which we protect Limsa Liminza. I swore an oath on the graves of my sisters. No more shall the innocent suffer at the hands of these savage buccaneers, these unrepentant killers.
A grand oath it is. I've got me fambles, full of just keeping the code intact. But the code is a kind of oath, too, when you get down to it. And since I've sworn to uphold it, I've no intention of stepping aside and letting you trample all over me or me coves. In fact, you'd be better off giving in now before matters get proper serious. Just say you're sorry, admit defeat, and we'll leave it at that, eh?
Your audacity knows no bounds. I am done wasting words. I shall reclaim the lost treasure, and then I will look on victorious as your guild is dismantled brick by brick.
That's the spirit, Captain. Just don't forget to keep an eye on them earrings. The city's crawling with rogues, you know. You could keep the sorrows in a bloody lockbox in the Coral Tower, but look away for a moment, and one of me coves will bite them beauties right back. Come on, Byrnjolf. It's back to the sisters for us. Oh, I guess the event is over here too. Wait a minute, that's new. What the bloody hell is that? Is this some crazy jumping puzzle? Should I even bother? Right now. I guess they don't affect me because I'm not actually in the town. Anyways, back to the guild, please. Hopefully all my splashing about won't attract that shark over there. Oh, there's stuff over there as well? Man, I need to have a look at this whole event thing. Well, after all that hard work, the shrew made off with the spoils.
And as far as our damn contest goes, I suppose that makes us even. It'll be the last treasure, this black sarcophagus, that decides the victor. Whatever the reformists are doing to keep it bob, you can bet your grandmom's teeth there'll be some blade work needed before this job is done. Get yourself ready for a proper scrap, Byrnjolf. I was wondering when you'd show up, Byrnjolf, but bugger me if ye don't look ready to mill an entire crew of sods by yourself. And being that ye are, because we've finally uncovered some hard facts about the last treasure. Won't be long now before we cloy the winning piece and put this daft challenge to bed. Alright, I've gathered the other coves for a meeting, so let's get down to it. At long bloody last, the black sarcophagus has given up its secrets. Underfoot, you've some news for us. Hi, Jack. I think half our troubles in whittling the truth of it lay in calling this nasty thing a treasure. The black sarcophagus ain't no dimmer bauble. It's the Mark L.I. Magitech mine. A bleeding prototype, explosive, what was bitten from an Imperial transport vessel. And even though it ain't that big, maybe the size of a small cargo box, they say the blast have enough kick to incinerate a bloody behemoth. Seems the Garleans meant to start production at the factory in Lanasia, then distribute the mines through Castrum Marinum. Lucky some plucky privateer cloyed the prototype en route, then, eh? An experimental weapon. That explains why the thalassocracy was so bleeding eager to bid at the auction, and so reluctant to share the details with us. At least now we know the what, but there's still the question of the where. The Kurds delivered their biting goods to the reformists. That much is certain. What happened to the sarcophagus after that, though, we ain't so sure. There have been no reports of huge explosions or the like, so either the executioners still have the mine, or they've peddled it to some other buyer. The reformist faction came together out of their shared hatred for the Admiral and her ways. I'm guessing they didn't coy that bomb just to sell it. What is it, Lonnie? A letter for you, Jack. Says it's urgent. A letter? Who's it from? The old man. I found it while I was sorting through our daily deliveries. What is that supposed to be a picture of? Let's see now. Come to Thalios. I have urgent news. I've never known the old man to summon a customer. No one's seen him at his usual haunts for a while. So do you reckon this rum morsel he's dug up just for us? I could be. Byrnjolf, you and me are headed to Thalios. Underfoot, Vicab, you're to take another stab at pinning down the location of the sarcophagus. You wasting your time, darling. We opened the Scrag's wrinkled throat bells ago. Ye crossed the bloody executioners, and ye get what's coming to ye. Did ye like our message? We wasn't sure ye'd fall for it, but a little mystery goes a long way, eh? Ah, now don't be like that, darling. Me and me mates didn't have much choice. When the boss says, go play with the rogues, then we gotta go play with the rogues. After all, we never asked ye to come ruin our game now, did we? And don't give me no long-winded speech about your precious code. The reformist's vision stretches far beyond what them tired old rules is good for. Once Captain Azabir takes command of the executioners, he'll give us back the teeth we lost when we submitted to the Admiral's leash. We'll be the terrors of the sea once more, free to rove and plunder in a new age of pirate glory. And I'll bathe in blood to see that age come to pass. I'll kick down your shite stinking code and have all your sneaking heads on the chopping block. Like hells you will. The only sentence what's being passed today is yours. Well, hello there, darling. Ain't you a fine-looking lad? I've heard all this prattle afore. Free to pillage and plunder, is it? Aye, it all sounds grand, but ye don't think of the price. That shite-sticking code is the only thing what keeps you bloody coves from milling one another. Without it, without Limsa Laminza to call home, you'd be adrift in an ocean of your corns. But if you're so keen to keep company with the dead, I'll be sodden happy to oblige. You was prettier with your gob shut. But I can see I'm out of my depth here. As much as I'd like to lop off your noggins, I'll have to be satisfied with dragging the two of ye out into the wilds. Kept you well out of the way, haven't I? Out with it, then. Yeah, ain't it obvious? You stubborn scrags is looking to swipe our new toy, and my job was to stall ye. The captain has the mine with him. The captain has the mine with him, all right. The captain has the mine with him right now. He's set to show the rest of the executioners that he's got the stones to sit in the leader's chair. And what better way to do that than executing the bitch which snapped the chains on our crew? He's targeting the Admiral herself? You're planning to blow up the command room, ain't ye? Aye, you have me permission to panic. Of course, if you'd rather steer clear of the city, I'd be glad to keep you company right here, sweet meat. Think you can stop Captain Isabir? If you sprout yourself some wings, then you might still make it.
We got this mad Mort at our mercy, but she seems to be enjoying herself. I better drag her back to the guild and see what other information she'll spill. I'll need you back in Limsa as well, but leave business at the foremast first. You should find Captain Milala at her post there. Forget about the sudden challenge and tell her everything we know. Unless me judgment's well off kilter, she'll do what needs to be done. Wish I could get into the city this way.
Oh, you're one of Jack's rogues. You come to steal the sorrows, have you? Well, you shan't have them. As you can see, they're safely clasped upon my very own. You're not here for the earrings? The Admiral, you say? And you are sure these fiends are in possession of the sarcophagus? I must deploy my sentries at once. Do not think this voids our challenge, rogue. And you can relay as much to your impudent guildmaster. I suppose you can thank him for the warning as well. Does this guy have anything to say? No, I can't even interact with him. Boo! I want to go in. Let me in. I can get to the city through there. The jackets are now on the move. Bean, I've been listening to that adult pirate cackle since I got her back to the sisters, but she's given us not what we didn't already know. And we know more than enough. I say we rally the rogues and go after that mine before it blows up in our munds. The leader of the reformists, this Captain Azabir, is planning on building the Admiral with a bang, then my guess is he'll be aiming to demolish the entire command room. You know the Meisenmast, aye? The tower that holds the drowned wench and Bulwark Hall, the Admiral's Bridge, and her command room are right at the top of it. Then you've got the district that surrounds the Meisenmast. That's the busy beaten heart of the city. Even with the threat of an attack, you can't just seal it up in the blink of an eye and call the whole thing Bob. Try to explain the danger to the Coles, what live and work there,
and then you'd have a frightened, stampeding mob on your fambles. Nay, lad, our only option is to have the only option is to have ice nulchin every approach to the tower. I'll put the word out to as many coves as I can and spread them through the streets. Your job will be to cover the aft castle. Just wait and see, Byrnjolf. We'll get this Azabir and his little bomb too. That's supposed to be like a Wizard of Oz reference. Is there? Okay, aft castle, huh? Right there. Ugh. Bog picked a grand night to roll in thick. This will make things interesting.
Our presence on the streets is far too thin. Where are the reinforcements I ordered?
My apologies, Captain. There just aren't any more soldiers to spare. The bulk of our forces has already been assigned to guard not only the Admiral, but a number of other high-ranking personnel as well.
Unacceptable! What could Commodore Reynard be thinking? There are dangerous criminals stalking the city as we speak. Call in squads from the outposts if you must, but I want to see our security tighten and the populace properly protected.
But Captain, we can't be certain the pirates' plan hasn't changed. If we consider the possibility that they've switched to a target outside the walls, it would be folly to weaken those defenses.
You've made your point, Sergeant. Return to your post. Once all is lost, it is far too late to question what one should have done. You seem troubled, sir. Perhaps I can be of assist. Ah!
I guess I don't need to fade that one out.
I've been dying to meet ye, lass. Keen to set eyes on the bold yellow belly would cost our crew a fortune in Uldan coin. You're an executioner. One of Isabir's men. You've strayed too far into a world you don't understand, lass. Your eyes is fixed on the light of justice, leaving ye blind to the chasm opening up at your feet. At least they'll say he died with your boots on. Yellow Belly won't be bothering us no more, Captain. As for the mine, the lads'll have it primed in front of the wench by the time you get there. Good. Not long now, afore we drag that bitch Admiral, her pretty tower, and all her simpering curs down to the bottom of the sea. Then I'll raise our flag on the ruins of the mizzenmast, and lead our brethren in a return to the old ways, a blood and plunder. I should not have had the last bottle, but it's gonna kill me. What's that then? Not after the command room. They mean to bring down the entire tower. If the mizzenmast falls, the bridges will follow. Half the city will... Please, you must help me. The danger are greater than we... Bloody hells! Is she alive? Oh, no. I didn't see nothing. Didn't see nothing. Please, you must send word. Someone must be told. How did you... Your valiant and forthright weapon. You could hear that single pistol shot from moments away. Weren't hard to guess what happened. I poked the yellow jackets on me way over. A healer be along shortly. Bean, that means we've only one last thing to do. We have never been allies, but I beg of you. You must stop them. Save the city. Ah, lass, you know you don't need to ask. Taking down mad coves and biting back what was bitten is our job. You all set then? Ready, Jack. Always. Then let's go cloy that sarcophagus and fit Azabir for a new coffin.
probably supposed to be pronouncing it Isabir. Oh my god, I'm really hungry at the moment. What are you doing outside the boundaries? Yep. Just gonna ignore that guy. And move on to the next thing. Oh great, he's Conjurer. Oh! They got from the cutscene. You need some railings.
Status report.
The mine has been disabled, and the engineers should soon have it safely removed. Our soldiers sustained some injuries in the battle with the reformists, but none were fatal. Also, the Admiral sends her sincerest gratitude.
Look, there she is! It's Captain Milala, the hero of Limsa Laminza. I recovered from your wound, Captain. We heard how you very nearly lost your life, stopping that horde of pirates from blowing up the mizzenmast.
3 cheers for the Yellow Jackets! A city'd be lost without ye.
But wait, that's not how it... Sergeant, what of the rogues? Did they survive the battle?
I don't rightly know, Captain. All we found near the sarcophagus were reformists, either dead or strung from the rafters.
Alive, then. It would seem we are deeply in their debt.
Captain, might I have the silver sorrows from you now? We've been ordered to hand them over to the We've been ordered to hand them over to the Commodore, along with the black sarcophagus.
Why, of course, they're right here. The earrings. I could have sworn it was still... He wouldn't have. He stole them from me He stole them from me while I lay dying? That cad! I knew he was not to be trusted. Keep an eye on them, indeed. I should have known. Are you sure about this, Jack? We should have cloyed the sarcophagus as well.
I think she's earned it, don't you? If it bothers you that much, think of it as a trade.
If you ask me, they look a bit daft.
Well, I didn't ask ye. So the jackets ended up with the mine, and we got the diamond and the earrings, which means victory belongs to the Rogues Guild.
Do you think Milala leave it at that, then? I get the feeling we ain't done with her yet.
I'd say we're done with our challenge, but ye never know when our paths will cross again. We'll just have to see what Limsa's underbelly spits up next.
The city ain't ever quiet for long. Well, it's been a pleasure working with ye, Byrnjolf. If I ever need a trusty pair of stabbers by me side, I'll know who to ask. I'm off as well. Bloody starving, I am. Don't forget to yoffle a bite when ye can, eh, Byrnjolf?
We'd best head back to the sisters, too, before the shrew decides she'd rather hear us cry cockles. Be in work, Byrnjolf. Be seeing you soon. I mean, obviously he took the Ethernet, that's why he quickly disappeared. Looking to head inside. Oh there, Byrnjolf. It'll be nice to finally have a bit of rest, eh? The job never ends, but even a dimmer damber like myself needs to breathe every now and again. And your venturing mates must be wondering where you've got to. That was a proper long assignment, but I'm glad you decided to see it through. You've proven to be a stalwart protector of the code, even if this ain't truly your world. When you walk back into the Lightmans, you'll have to find your own code to uphold. And when you do, you'll have the skills you learned in the shadows to help you defend it. Well, that's more'n enough prattle out of me. Your travels might take you far and wide, Byrnjolf, but know you're always welcome here at the Sisters. Byrnjolf, keeping your stabbers sharpened, I hope. Because I've got a job to be done, and I reckon the dimmer damber what put the executioners on the chopping block is just the one to do the doing. My men have sighted some shifty types around Wineport of late. Not code-breaking curs so far as I know, and that's the rub. We don't know half as much about them as I'd like. They claim to be simple peasants, refugees from some far-flung realm, but I don't know many peasants what skulk about in the Darklands as much as they've been doing. So long as they're not breaking the code, they can do as they please, but being who we are, it falls to us to look into the matter and make sure that all's bob. As my gut tells me, this may be a two-rogue job. I've sent Underfoot on ahead, so pull on your best beater cases, head to Wineport, and meet him there. Really wish my mouth wasn't so watery at the moment. Wait, no. No. Wrong place. Over here? Oh, it must be the, yeah, I think I might know what it is. It's just some quests that have opened up because my, level. That's kind of funny seeing them gyrate like that. I know it's most likely from the creature breathing, but it just looks really silly. And sooner or later I'm going to have to ask Guy to help me with the Bahamut's coil thing.
Byrnjolf! When Jack said he'd be set in one of the guild's canniest coves along after me, I had a feeling it might be you. Now I'd love to tell ye old Underfoot's already whittled the old scrap on our friends, but truth is I've turned up more questions than answers. They claim to hail from the South Sea Isles, but me little birds at Melvin's gate swear to the last man that that's some piss-poor mummery. There's no record of any such ship sailing into port. Looks like it falls to you and me to take a closer snilch, aye? I hope you brought your sharpest stabbers, as there's no telling who we're... Did you hear that, lad? Either old Underfoot's gone daft, or some mort just screamed out for dear life. Something tells me our little task is about to take a turn for the interesting. What say we go see what's what? Have mercy! I am but a simple milkmaid, with not a single guilt to my name. Rest easy, lass. My friend and I don't mean ye no harm, though I must say you've got me curious. Just what in the name of the 12 happened here? I had just come to town to purchase some supplies. No sooner had I walked through the gates than I was suddenly accosted by 3 burly drunkards who demanded that I hand over all my possessions. To my good fortune, it seems the men had partaken a bit too heavily. When they saw the meager contents of my coin purse, they began to squabble among themselves. A fistfight ensued, and before I knew it, the 3 men were lying on the ground, as you see them now. Sounds like the mayor smiled upon you today, lass. Though might I suggest ye be a bit more careful on your next visit? All manner of scurvy sorts frequent these parts, and you'll find that not all of them are blundering lackwits like your friends here. Thank you for your concern, good sir, and rest assured that I will take your words to heart. Good day to the both of you. Well, Byrnjolf, how do the girls' wids strike ye? Mummery, I say. You too. I was thinking the very same. Squabbling amongst themselves. Just look, there's barely a scratch on any of these louts. I'd wager there's more to the rum doxy than she's letting on. Come, let's go on the drag and see what she might be hiding. And a right mess we've got here. You reckon these coves got on the wrong side of our lass? One thing's for sure, they're no more peasants than you and I. One look at those stabbers tells me as much. I have failed. I beg of you. Take this and return it to Master Oberon, to Lady Subame. It's too late. The poor sod's dead. As for the stone, your guess is as good as mine. A lucky charm of sorts, mayhap?
Any road, we'd best start moving. Our dew beaters before the blast gets away. Her footprints lead in the direction of Upper Lanasia. She hides behind a tree, as if that could hide her from me.
She didn't really think she could fool me with those silly rags, did she? Or did she? Perhaps she's not as clever as we believed. And a mysterious savior rushes to the damsel's defense. Such chivalry, such compassion, such folly. Little does he know that the girl is more than capable of taking care of herself. And right on cue, Obero, the dim, leaps onto the scene to save his dear little swallow in the most unsurprising surprise attack the realm has ever seen.
Cease your ramblings, Korosu, before I rip that tongue from your bloody beak.
Yow! Our hero was wounded, a stab through the heart. His childhood friends stand before him, blades drawn and hate in their eyes. Oh, the tragedy of it all. The audience sobs. And what's this? A couple of bit players who have forgotten to leave the stage? Did no one tell them their part in the play is long since over? Oh, and the faceless rogue shows surprising skill. Perhaps he yet has a role to play. I will say this much. Unlike a certain someone, at least you intrigue me. But other matters demand our hero's attention, and so the first act must draw to a close. Come, my pet.
Wait, Korosu! If we're quick to retreat, that one.
The two gentlemen from Wineport. Did you follow me here?
Beg pardon, miss. My friend and I are here on behalf of the dutiful sisters, and you, sister, have some questions to answer. I've lived on the underbelly of society long enough to recognize when a man's more than he seems. So make this easy for us, lass. Just who exactly are ye, and what are ye doing here? And here's hoping, for both of your sakes, that it doesn't involve breaking no code. So you're the rogues of whom I've heard so much. Forgive me, we were remiss in not seeking you out sooner. Very well, you shall know all there is to know. My name is Obero, and she is Tsubame. We hail from a village in Doma, several thousand malms across the sea. We are, but perhaps you have no word for what we are. In our own tongue, one might call us shinobi. Doma, the imperial province.
The same, though it did not have to be so. Our countrymen fought with honor against the might of Godalmold. What we lacked in number we made up for with martial prowess. It is a battle we could have won had we not been betrayed by one of our own. Our every secret, our every move known to our foe, the tide of battle turned on the morrow. Thousands of our countrymen were slaughtered, and at day's end, Doma remained under the imperial yoke. The traitorous Kerr joined the imperial ranks as chief of their covert operatives, or so they say. That is the man you just met, Caruso, though I am loath to call him a man. To this day, he whispers in the ears of the Garleans, making a mockery of those who once called him friend and brother, but no longer. We have come to Eorzea at our village elder's behest to see that Caruso pays for his crimes with his life. Come to mill a treacherous rook who blew the gab on his comrades. You sound like a right bean cove. Consider old Underfoot impressed. Forgive me, this land and its tongue are still new to us. Nonetheless, we were able to lure Caruso here, but more than a few of our comrades gave their lives in the effort. And now this was their sacrifice for naught. Yeah, my gratitude. When one of our kind falls, tradition dictates that we return their soul to the village, that it may rest with our ancestors. What? Our fallen brother's soul calls out to this man? Could it be a sign? Are we fated to fight as one? I would make you an offer. We will instruct you in our art, the art of ninjutsu. In return, you will share with us your knowledge of this land, that it might serve us in our mission. But Obero, he is not Doman. He is not of the village. Look around you, Tsubame. Our brothers and sisters are fallen or gravely wounded, and today's failure makes it all too clear. We cannot hope to stand against Caruso without knowing the lay of the land. I can't say I'm thrilled at the prospect of losing a dimmer-dammer like yourself, but hells, in my younger days I been keen to try my fams at some of those techniques myself. And the more my wattles take in, and the more these two strike me as Benar and Benar folks. If you're keen to lend them your daddles, I'll not be the one to stand in your way. If you would know more, come to the dock storehouse at Raincatcher Gully. We shall await you there. Who'd have figured, eh? Anyway, the choice is yours, Byrnjolf. In the meantime, I'm going to head back to Limsa and report to Jack before he comes and gives me a good clout in the knob. Tradition forbids us from sharing our art with those from outside our village. Yet watching you hold your own against Korosu today, I cannot deny your potential. And so we meet again. Am I to take your presence to mean that you have chosen to accept our offer? Thank you. I speak not only for myself and Tsubame, but for our entire village, when I say that you have our profound gratitude. What I would tell you next, I would tell you out of the earshot of strangers. Byakubu has been instructed to let only trusted visitors through the doors behind me. When he speaks to you, Ayan Mei, you are to answer Ka-ide. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing these words correct or not. You need not know what the words mean, only that they will grant you entrance. Welcome, Byrnjolf. You stand within the provisional base of operations my people have established in your land of Eorzea. It may not look like much, either without or within, but that is precisely the point. We find it an ideal vantage point from which to observe the comings and goings of Korosu and his men without attracting undue attention to ourselves. My fallen brother saw you as a worthy inheritor to his soul. To honor his memory, I entrust it to you. But soul alone will not make you a shinobi. No, this will require training of the body and mind. Our art, the art of ninjutsu, originated with our ancestors many years ago. Since then, it has been passed down with each generation, mother to daughter, father to son. We draw power from the world around us, the heaven, the earth, and the hearts of man, and channel this power into physical form. I am told that this is similar to your concept of Aether, was it? I must confess that Eorzean words and ways remain unfamiliar to me. How does one channel this power, you ask? Through the use of mudra. Hand gestures that call forth each of 3 forms of energy of which I spoke. The first mudra I will teach you will call power from the heavens. In Domo, we call this 10. You are eager to learn, yes? Attune your soul to that of my fallen brother, then approach me once more. It is then that your training will begin. That's fine for now. Yes, I can sense it. Though you are not of our blood, the soul of my people is strong in you. You are one of us now, a shinobi. And yet your training has only just begun. Heed my words well, Byrnjolf, for the shinobi, blade, and mind are one. The weak mind gives rise to a weak blade. False mind gives rise to a false blade. But the mind that is strong and true, that blade will know no equal. Such were the teachings of my master, his master, and his master's master before him. The shinobi,
must keep presence of mind at all times, or his blade may as well be one of grass. That is the lesson of the mind. Now we shall begin the lesson of the body. You will recall that the art of ninjutsu involves using hand gestures called mudra to summon the energies of heaven, earth, and man, ten, chi, and jin in the Domin tongue. Myriad techniques can be unleashed depending on the mudra you combine and the order in which you do so. But perhaps I am getting ahead of myself. The child must learn to walk before he can run. To begin, I would see you master the first mudra. 10. Mudra of heaven. Summon the energy of heaven and project it forth. And from your hand will fly a flaming star, Fuma Shuriken. Outside of the storehouse, you will find a Mokugen, a wooden man of the sort traditionally used in Doma for training. Do as I have told you and strike it with a Fuma Shuriken. I will observe your technique from a distance. The art of ninjutsu is easily learned, but not so easily mastered. Be patient and heed well Obero's words. Yes, that will do, Byrnjolf. Clearly, we did not misjudge your potential. Perhaps you have also felt your body becoming lighter. This is but another benefit of your training. You may find yourself able to dance through the air with your blades drawn. But be mindful, the true shinobi sees that no movement is wasted. You demonstrated your skills well against the wooden man, but wood does not strike back. Your next opponent will not be so docile. Prepare yourself. Your aptitude for our art is nothing short of astounding, Byrnjolf. The soul of our ancestors chose wisely indeed. I see.
What Oboro means to say is that he's not seen anyone master the fundamentals of ninjutsu with such swiftness. Is that not so, Oboro?
I am capable of speaking for myself, Tsubame. But it is true. Byrnjolf has exceeded even my own expectations. His blade slices through the air as a fish glides through water. But that is enough training for the day. Now it is my turn to be the student and you the teacher. I would learn the ways of Eorzea. You will instruct me, yes? You have my gratitude, Byrnjolf.
First, I would better know the terrain of Lanas. Is something amusing?
My bow?
I see. Who'd have thought a simple gesture of courtesy would be so complicated? Like this, is it? Forgive him. Oboro has not been quite himself since coming to these shores. It would seem that neither the food nor the climate agrees with him.
And let us not forget the stink of those infernal horsebirds. All the more reason for us to complete our mission swiftly and return to more hospitable environs. Anyhow, Byrnjolf, that should suffice for the day. Practice well your ninjutsu, and return when you are ready for your next lesson.
It would seem you have some practicing to do as well.
I have now unlocked the Naruto run, and I can do flips. Woo! Okay.
Let me head back to Lanasia real quick.
Lanasia, excuse me, I'm already in Lanasia. Let me head back to Limza Limenza real quick.
I'm going to switch to Arcanist. Now I'm actually going to stop here for the time being. Next episode I'll do the Arcanist and then the Marauder. Yeah, I need to get something to eat. I am starving. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.